here. There we go. Yeah. Oh, do we have an ashtray? We need an ashtray, dude. And how come this is not showing up here, I wonder? Alright, so... What,
I think there's a porch.
Is it... Where? You can use my trash can, dude. Problem
What
solver.
about when you actually need to put it out, though?
Oh. Nice, problem solver. Okay. So, what we need to do is figure out how to post this for everybody to see it.
Oh, so, needs to be shared?
Yeah, how do we share this? Is it this thing? No, that's not it.
I think through your profile, if it's like you can go on your profile on YouTube and share it, or this board, not the dashboard thing.
Oh, it's over here. I know where it is. This.
There you are, yep.
Boom. Ha ha ha. What about, why did it send that picture, I wonder? Not found. Delete. Ugh. Alright, so... But it's the Liquid Sound Disciples live stream.
Oh, I know what happened.
Dude, how do I find this link so I can post it? What the fuck, dude?
When you went to the Facebook and that,
It
didn't bring the thing up, huh? That www.youtube, that thing.
Got it. Copy. Post that. Make sure Citrus and F don't sound like morons.
Sure.
Okay.
What's the topic?
I don't think we have one yet.
Do we have top yet?
I haven't thought of one.
No? Damn.
I mean, we could talk about the time I thought I was in the Illuminati.
Should we talk conspiracies?
Oh, this is not a conspiracy. This is a story of Citrus being very gullible.
Oh, shit.
Sorry.
Let's talk cults and conspiracies. Wanna?
Sure. Yeah, I'm down with that. Those are interesting topics.
Oh.
Oh, you want to join in?
No guarantees, but I'm in the room.
Right. Can that hear him?
Probably.
You know, you could just be the voice in the side. I don't
Yeah.
think the world would have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, sweet. Alright, so. So you were. This is a great segue into what we're going to talk about, you know, cults and conspiracies. You were saying that you thought you were in the Illuminati because you were gullible?
Well, okay, so
do tell.
the story, I'm gonna use a fake name for him. The story of me and Bucky is a long tale that doesn't really have a conclusion or an end to reach towards. So I don't want to end up rambling a lot about it. So let me see if I can give a quick synopsis.
That's what I think of. Quick synopsis. That's also my community.
So I mean, it's hard to explain it in a way that makes any sense in a couple sentences, because it's just like, what? You believed that you were in the Illuminati because this dude fucking told you so? Yeah, pretty much. That's what happened. But
was it Professor X?
But no.
Like Spock?
He was just extremely good, you know, right off the bat. He was extremely good at saying the things that he knew I wanted to hear. He's like, he could see weakness, he could see vulnerability, he could see a person that lacked self-worth and a sense of importance. And if you feed somebody that when they desperately want it, then you can do a lot of crazy shit.
That's how gangs work.
Yeah. So, Bucky, when I first met him, we were at the grocery store and he bought some groceries for me. He was telling me about how rich his family is, so he doesn't need to worry about stuff like that. And he was just telling me about his life. He's a real interesting dude. He had, metal in different parts of his body because he got in a motocross accident.
Oh, shit.
So he ended up on, a bunch of different meds. Should have been my first red flag, but, he was just so nice, and he was the only dude my age in town who did hip-hop. This was out in Sedona. So, we became really close really quick, and he started telling me that he astral projected every night, that he lucid dreamed, and that I could too. And then we started having dreams together. At least I had flashes of memories of us having dreams together. And we would make music together in the dream world and crazy shit like that. So when he told me that he was a part of the Illuminati and that I was too, kind of believed him. Just because I didn't want to believe that he would lie to me, and he might be fucking crazy, but he might be telling the truth. And he had this ring that he had symbolism on him that made it seem that he was at least a part of Freemasonry.
But how does this conversation go about? You're oh, minding your own business one day. You know, I'm citrus. Hey, dude, you're part of the Illuminati. What? No, I'm not. How does that work?
Okay, so he told me that he saw me in a vision when he was 12, and I smacked him out of a heroin overdose. Yeah, I know. And he said when he saw me again, he knew that I was the archbishop that he'd been waiting for. He was the king of the Illuminati, and I was the archbishop, and we have been this for the last 5,000 years. The Illuminati are some divine cult that is aligned with oneness that's here to make shit right, basically, was his explanation to me. And yeah, man, it was just when I realized that he was nothing but a drug addict and a cynical prick, that he wasn't really helping anybody out besides when he needed something from them. I'm like, dude, none of what you're describing, like, nothing's matching up anymore. He acted like a really good dude, and since he gave me so much verbal love, I thought he was such a really good dude, but...
Okay. I get you. So, I mean, it's not much different than the way that gangs go out and recruit, misfits to get them, to come hang out,
Right.
or the way that extremist or supremacy groups, that's the way they operate. It's the way terrorism groups, what we call terrorist groups, operate. Overseas, they target young, disenfranchised, lonely young men, and offer them this, this idea, this concept that they can be part of some grand scheme, and offer them love, and ultimately that's what it is they, like Tupac said, was it? And even though they sell drugs, they show the young nigga love, right? I mean, same thing. That's what everybody... I mean, when people ask me, how's it going, my catchphrase is, I'm living the dream. And I always like that they laugh and joke with me, oh, somebody's dream, right? It's a nightmare. And I'm like, well, let's take an inventory really quick, right? And the inventory is you're above ground breathing. You have resources like a home, you've eaten today. Your resources are going to continue, like you're out and about, you're doing something, you're being productive, maybe it's a job or you have some reason to be out there continuing your resources, and somebody cares about you. If you have one of those, you're well ahead of at least 1 million people that are alive right now.
Right.
If you have more than one of those, you're ahead of like 4 billion people.
Right, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
If you have all of those, you're fucking killing it. And
totally.
To be missing, I think, we could have all those three. Be alive, we could have, food and shelter, and we can have income, but still feel completely empty and worthless if you don't have love or companionship or some sort of meaningful relationship with something.
Right. Well, that I think just in general, as I can't really speak for other places because I haven't been many other places. I'm sure other cultures aren't as cynical as Americans are, but I think Americans in general are rather. I know, as for myself, I'm pretty quick to judge myself and put myself down and be mad at myself for what I'm doing, and I think it's just really easy to feel a lack of importance because you're comparing yourself to the highest standard possible, and you're supposed to reach for that at all times, and if you're not, then you're fucking up. You know what I mean? It's like we're kind of placing impossible standards on ourselves. And like people who have a lot of self-love don't do that.
Right. Yeah. That's a very important point to make.
And they probably would not have ended up in the situation I ended up in because they would see right through his bullshit right away. And now I have the capability of seeing through bullshit better. I'm not as quick to trust people. It was good that I had the experience, but it was definitely really traumatic. The shit was fucking crazy.
Oh man, I can only imagine. Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I didn't even know where to start or end. I suppose I'm happy to start talking about it because I feel like this tactic could be used on many people, and people should know how to keep themselves away from it, or know what to do if they caught themselves in the middle of it.
So, what do you think would be, the things to look out for? How, we're talking about it. What do people need to do to be aware and protect themselves?
Well, basically, if you're questioning something, if you're like, I don't know if this is actually a good dude or not, or, I don't know if he's actually lying to me or not, you should back off. Like, I decided to live with a person that I deep down knew I couldn't trust. And I forgive myself for choosing to have trusted him because now I know for sure. But you know, that was something I could have easily just not lived with the guy, been friends with him from a distance, figured out that he was fucking crazy on my own, and never have like ended up in that wild situation. You know, I could have done a lot of things differently.
Well, I would. You were saying, you know, you had mentioned maybe a person with greater self-love could have avoided those types of situations.
Only trust your experience. You know, don't let anyone fill in the blanks for you, because that was what was happening with my dream state. I would tell him about certain images that I saw, and he'd be like, "Oh, well, that was this," and then he would start filling in blanks for me, and you know, he didn't have that experience. Maybe we were together in the dream space, maybe we weren't. I mean, I can tell you that Bucky had a very different source of tools to work with. Like, I don't know where he learned his psychological tricks, but you could tell he had it down pat. And he did have like a weird tattoo on his left wrist. He told me was the sign of the king or whatever.
Yeah.
And he had this big gold ring that like even hatched open and had like a bunch of secret symbols inside of it. And it was like the, you know, sacred geometry cross. And it had, the stone of astral projection in it, the black sapphire. So,
dude, is this like one of the gems in the Infinity Gauntlet?
Probably, I don't know. But it's the stone of astral projection. That's a real thing, and he talked about astral projection a lot. That was part of his whole thing. But part of me thinks if I like just suggest to you, it's like, oh, we can dream together. If I just say that to you a lot, all of a sudden you're gonna see me in your dreams. I might not have actually been there, but you like created me in your dream.
Okay.
And then if you start telling me about it, I can start filling in blanks for you. You know what I mean?
Right. So why would somebody want to be in a dream together? It sounds like pretty like. That's something I would talk to my wife about, maybe.
Could you imagine making music in the dream world? Like, could you imagine the work you could get done in a world where, like, if you think it appears in some sort of holographic form? Like,
dude, I've never really experienced music in my dreams.
Well, we did that. We like remade one of our beats that
like jammed out.
Yeah, it sounded really good in the dream world. We never changed it in real life, but I remember having the dream where me and Walter were in a studio similar to our studio, but the studio was flying through fucking space.
Yeah.
And we were like making music in there. We changed the beat to what I wanted.
Dude, that sounds like being on a Special K trip, actually.
It was the dream world.
Okay, so
I've never done Special K.
Okay.
I've done lucid dreaming though.
So all right then. So I knew of another guy, and I can't remember his name. He was one of Trey's buddies. Had spent time in a cult, like a year, 18 months. Him and I believe he got married while he was there, and then I'm pretty sure he's divorced from that person now. And that basically he was talking of a similar experience, just kind of being lost in California. I want to say it was in Sacramento area, but I'm not sure. And just meeting some interesting people that he was lonely, and they were down to be his friend and teach him about. I think it was a Christ-based cult or something like that, but yeah, he fell for it, and you know, something I can't remember what he said he noticed, but I think it had something to do with the way certain people would get in trouble and other people wouldn't, and you know, so all religions basically started as a cult at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Religion's a funny thing because a lot of beautiful things have come from it. I think there's like grains of truth in every single one of them, and then there's just so much bullshit. on top of a lot of them too. Anyways, but one thing I would also mention is when it comes to only trusting your experience, like that doesn't just apply to the dream world. That applies to all of these things.
Right, of course.
If someone starts telling you about your past lives, you know, my personal opinion, maybe they're able to do that shit, but do it yourself. Like, you can do a past life recall, and as far as I'm concerned, this life is a hallucination, your past life is a hallucination. Like, who the fuck knows if it's an actual past life or not. But I would trust what you recall more than what somebody else just psychically gathered from the ethers and told you.
Okay, so that's a whole nother tangent, past lives and shit. Let's go back to, like, okay, you know, trusting yourself. What about, you know, zodiac signs? You know, like people are so into the horoscope, dude.
Right.
They're so into it. But what does that have to do with, like, your own experience? You know, somebody else is telling you, the stars are telling you what will be held for you in the future, what comes this way for you.
I think if you investigate astrology, you find that it's more of a guide map of sort of the energetic fluctuations going on in what different time periods, so you can react accordingly. Like, it's not really predicting anything specific. It's not, you know, it's like the circuitry of the motherboard right above you is sort of telling you what's going on downstairs. And I don't...
Like instruction manual?
Not an instruction manual.
Like a field guide? Like a roadmap? Like a dictionary?
Roadmap. I would say roadmap. I'm at a loss for words right now. That critical mass did me well. But what I'm saying is like, I think if you actually investigate astrology, there's less prediction in it than you think preemptively. Everyone thinks like the gypsy with the crystal ball and shit. Like, it's not. It's not like that.
Okay.
It's a lot more earthly. It makes, I don't know, it makes sense to me. It is definitely, you should trust your own experience when you read into it.
Of course.
And if you read into it and you're like, this is bullshit, it doesn't fit me at all, then maybe you're right and you should just not pay attention to it and you'll probably live a full life without it. But if you read into it and you're like, oh my God, like this is what's going on in my life right now and this is stuff I need to be paying attention to, then boom, like you just found yourself a valuable tool.
Right, okay. So, I mean, I feel like that's the same way that people should be approaching religion, as it were. I mean, I certainly approach my Catholicism that way. I don't for a minute believe that, you know, Jesus could walk on water, or I don't really believe that he actually cured people of these, you know, paralysis and blindness. It's quite possible that some guy, you know, had some stiffness and placebo affected it all away. I totally believe that's, you know, and then that story gets embellished. But, you know, I also do, but the point is that I do find the truth in church when I go and listen to Mass.
Right. See, I think religion is a very good thing for a lot of people, but I think what is really important is people finding their own spiritual path. Like, no matter what your religion is, if you're all Catholic, if everyone on the planet was a Catholic, we would all have a different connection to God.
Absolutely.
You know, every individual would have his own separate, unique connection with that entity of all that is.
My mother would love that, by the way. If the whole world was Catholic.
I'm sure she would.
But she totally would. I don't think she would want them to be my kind of Catholic. No, I'm just kidding. So how does a cult go from being just a cult to being a religion, dude?
So whoever they're worshiping, they die.
Okay.
So like,
oh, I get it.
Jesus is dead. Now that's a religion.
Okay, but they have to die in a significant way, I think.
Maybe. I mean, I'm just saying, all cults, the dude is alive. The dude is alive and
okay.
well.
Okay.
And that's like the major difference.
Okay.
Is, you know.
Right. He's there to reap some of the benefits of the cult followers, right?
Right.
Get a little of that.
Totally.
Get a little of that cult groupie.
There's
groupie
probably,
snatch.
I know there was a documentary on a guy pretending to be Jesus. There's probably multiple dudes right now who have cults following him, and he's
As
just
the
like,
second coming.
I'm Jesus, I'm back.
Yeah. Hey!
The documentary, I saw this guy, he only sort of looked like Jesus. He had a history of like prostitution and coke and shit. He had like shit on his record. And he just started telling people a bunch of new age stuff and saying, I'm Jesus, I'm back. And like people worship that dude. He had a strong following, and he told multiple women that he slept with that they were Mary Magdalene. That was like one of his things.
Wow. Okay, so how long does this go on for? And
as far as I know, he's still doing it, man.
Dude, I want to meet this guy. I just want to see him tell me to my face with a straight face that he's Jesus, man. I want to know. I want to know what that's like.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd do it. I mean,
dude, I'm so
like
down.
he's gonna break for you. No,
right, right.
Fucking with these people, man. Dude, check this out.
Do you want to be Simon? You could be Paul. Paul's open.
Paul's open.
You're kind of little. Yeah, dude. All right. Okay, so like if I were to think about the Bible from a very secular point of view, I would say that Jesus was more than likely. He was a good dude. He totally liked to party, but he totally believed in love and going against the establishment and everybody just chilling. Like, I think he was totally a dude, man. Like, all about it, right?
Yeah.
Shit, I don't know, man. Whatever, dude.
Well, no, I think that is
dude.
True. When it comes to like Jesus and Buddha and many figures like that, I don't feel like they were trying to start a religion.
Nah.
I don't feel like what the aftermath of them being there is probably not exactly what their picture was, you know?
Maybe, I don't know, man. I mean, because there's accounts of, and again, like, I had to choose which parts of the Bible I take to be true or not, right? But there's accounts of him, going places and saying, the Son of God or whatever, right? Pretty sure I've heard that in the Bible. that he claimed to be the Son of God. And that, through him you'll find the light and stuff. Like, that's totally a God complex. Like, he was a dude. He was just chilling. But he had a God complex. That was like in the DSM, the medical book for diagnosing people, like, dude was a fucking nut job, man.
I mean,
dude was a nut job.
Everybody was a nut job back then. And didn't he also say that, like, everything that he can do, everyone else can do as well? Like,
anything I can do, you can do better.
They were all sons of God. Like, he was like, we are all the same. I thought that was a part of his preaching as well. So even though he said, I am the Son of God, it's like his God complex was leveled out. Everybody was the Son of God.
Sweet. I like that. Like a contagious, contagious God complex. That's the best kind. Dude, we can all end the world. We're all in control.
I remember hearing a story of a man meeting God on the bus. God was just a dude with a Green Goblin t-shirt, and the post was just a conversation. Could have been made up, could have been a real thing that happened, I don't fucking know. But it was pretty interesting, and God was basically explaining that humanity is going to be welcomed into the hierarchy of heaven once every single human on the planet has the power to destroy the planet and chooses not to do so. And like every individual has that power.
What a terrible idea! Are you fucking kidding me? That's what we're waiting for? Dude, that is the worst endgame dude, like, hey. Alright, guys. I'm giving you this opportunity. I'm trusting you with this now. But
I don't imagine this would be a jump. This would be like, as technology expands, eventually we just like become these beings that are that powerful.
Right,
you know?
right. Like, and dude, I can just hack into the military mainframe and zap this place from the moon. From my phone.
From my phone. Shit, with my mind.
Shit,
with mind lasers.
Right. Oh my god, just put a little chip in here. Oh, when they talk about mind lasers, I kind of want a chip now, dude. Seriously?
Chips
like,
can give you mind lasers?
I don't know, but how else am I going to get mind lasers? It's got to be an implant of some kind.
I think you could mount it on the shoulder or something.
Oh, like the Predator.
Or replace the hand with a cannon.
Nah, man. I like both my hands, bro. You know. I mean, I could replace a finger with like a laser pointer. I'm down with that.
Which finger would you choose?
I would choose, let's see, the ring finger is, I mean, aside from holding my fancy jewelry, it's pretty,
yeah.
It's a pretty worthless finger.
Yeah, I guess that would be the one. I was thinking pinky just because it just happens to be laser pointer sized.
That's true,
Yeah.
and you have a little bit more, you could, but see, the ring finger, if it was just the top portion, you can hide it better. So,
totally.
like, you could totally zap somebody while they're talking, like giving a speech in front of everybody. Like, can somebody put that away? And you're like, dude, I don't know, man. They're like, what's on your finger? You're like, dude, I broke it. You know, I play basketball, shoot a little hoop. This guy came in, smashed my finger. I got to wear this thing on it now. Really? Because it looks like an implanted laser. What the fuck are you, man? A fucking, sci-fi whiz? Get out of here.
How would you be able to turn it on and off by yourself? Would there
Yeah.
Yeah,
There'd be like a way that you go 1, 2, 3, and it would be on. Right? And then you go 1, 2, 3, and turn it off.
I like that.
Yeah. And if it ever gets stuck and it has to be reset, you just go like this. Yeah. You're like a little speed bag. And then it'd be good to go. You could lift the fingernail there. It'd be like a car hood. And you pop in there and do your little, they give you little tiny wrenches that you can like fix stuff in there if you have to, change out the light bulb. How do they make a laser? Is that like a light bulb? Does it burn out?
I honestly have no idea.
I always imagined it was some kind of like nuclear fission happening through a ruby.
I think you need a kyber crystal for that.
Kyber crystal.
That's from Star Wars. That's for
okay.
lightsabers.
Okay, I thought you just mispronounced kryptonite.
Pretty sure it's kyber crystal.
Kyber crystal.
And
Okay.
the red ones are actually good crystals that are bleeding.
Wow, what the fuck, dude?
At least that's what I.
Dude, this sounds like a tweaker story gone bad. You gotta sniff all those before they go. They're dying, for Christ's sake.
Oh, dude, I bet you snorting kyber crystal gets you high as.
Ooh, dude, you'd be fucking zooted.
It's gotta be way more addictive than
You'd be way more zooted than the English guy that Trey and I ran into on Thanksgiving. Did I tell you about this shit, bro?
I don't think you did.
Alright, dude. So, first, we went up to Parker to my uncle's house and had some turkey. And we played Spoons. You ever played Spoons?
No.
It's a fucking rad game, dude. Such like a family gathering game. It was dope.
Does it involve spoons?
It involves real life spoons. So in 1 week, I learned about cupping and spoons, and none of them are at all related to spooning. So I'm becoming very cultured. I know a lot of cool stuff now. Anyway, so yeah, it's a card game.
Really handy with the dishes.
And yeah, dude, don't say that on camera, man. People are gonna be hitting you up. Come give me fuck no. So yeah, we were playing that. It was pretty wicked. We were like flying all over the tables and stuff. And then we decided we were gonna go downtown, right? And I kept telling, I told the family members and stuff, yeah, since we're already up here in Parker, we're just going to swing up to Lodo and check it out, And they all said, be careful. And in my head, I registered that as, okay, holidays, you always want to be a little extra careful because you got drunk crazies out there and stuff. And really, we just wanted to see if there was anything cool to get, because there wouldn't be a lot of people on the streets. It might be cool to get some dope camera footage, whether it's B-roll footage, for video or just photos, whatever it is. But they keep saying it over and over and over again, like kind of making it a point, right? And finally, they said, there's a couple of spots downtown that you want to avoid, and they gave us a list of streets and neighborhoods to look out for, So I felt pretty good about that. So we get downtown, and everything's closed. I don't know what we were thinking, man. Of course, everything's fucking closed or closing up, whatever. We go to like 3 or 4 different places, and then this English dude comes up, dude. Hey, mate, you got a light on you, mate? Yeah, here you go. What are we drinking tonight? I don't know. Where have you been drinking? I've been drinking all over the place, man. We're looking for a fucking bar. You know anyone open right now? No. Come with me. All right. So we're following this guy around, right? We're going to
Come with me.
We're going to a couple of different bars, and every time he like approached somebody in front of the bar. Excuse me, hey, excuse me, mate, excuse me, is this place open? Looks like it. Okay, cool. We're gonna go check it out. Come on, guys, let's go. It's bloody closed. Fuck. All right, let's go. Come on, there's another one right around here. Let's go check it out. Excuse me, darlings, don't look scared. I'm just a weird English guy. How's it going tonight, darlings? Is this place open? They're closing right now. Bollocks, we'll go check it out. Come on, fellas. When we go in here, we're gonna look like fucking geniuses, okay? We're rich, we're important, we're fucking geniuses. All right, let's go. It's fucking closed. Damn it. All right, I know this place. It's right around the corner here. It's open like 24/7. I never go there. Let's go. Okay. And now we're going like down this alley now. And all of a sudden I started thinking about what my, aunt and uncle said about crazy things. I started thinking, of course it's a foreign guy and he's gonna boom, some goon's gonna knock out in an Adidas jumpsuit and knock us on the head and drag us out. We're gonna wake up in a hotel missing kidneys and eyes like, buddy. Trey, are you okay? I got a hangover. It would be terrible. Anyway, we turn out okay. we end up in this bar. There's a bar. Sure enough, it's open. We walk right in. We order a drink. And the guy's talking all this nonsense about knowing these Israelis, and he's here to do business, and he's got all this money to spend, yada, yada, yada. And all of a sudden, these foreign guys walk up, like obvious foreigners. I could tell by the way they were dressed and their skin tone and heavy ass accents and stuff, and they like know each other. I dated an Israeli in high school. She didn't look like that, but I mean, I don't know. I've never been to Israel. Maybe there's I don't know. I'm sure they're just like America. I'll bet there's a whole lot of different kinds of them, right? Anyway, I just started getting really nervous, and I started thinking all these crazy thoughts again, and I was like, Trey, we got to get out of here, I'm going to hit him with this gin cup, and I don't even know why. Like, I'm just getting nervous. So we decided to leave, right? The guy was all, like, disappointed that we're leaving. It felt kind of strange. So we ended up going to the Coyote Ugly. Did you know that there's a Coyote Ugly in Denver?
Nah.
Do you know what Coyote Ugly is?
Nah.
All right. You know what it is?
Yeah.
All right, dude. It's pretty badass. So there's this. So the term coyote ugly is a very chauvinistic and very low degrading reference to making a drunken mistake and ending up at home with a girl who's so ugly that when you wake up in the morning and she's asleep on your arm, you'd rather chew it off to get out of there than wake her up. Okay, so they ended up making this. There's a bar, I guess. I don't know where the first one was. I had under the feeling it was in Michigan or something like that. Maybe New York, some place where they have toll bridges, though. I know that. And it's a bar where chicks dance on the bar. Get all rowdy. It's like sounds country themed and stuff, you know. Anyway, I had to check it out. I had no idea that there was one in Denver, and it was pretty sweet. It was awesome, and this is the part that I wanted to tell you about, bro. So we're there. There's not a whole lot of people, as you can imagine. Bunch of foreigners again, right? Because that's the thing. We kept asking them, you know, what brings you guys out on, you know, Thanksgiving? And I knew they don't. I know they don't celebrate Thanksgiving in other countries. I know that. I'm just trying to start conversation and see what their reactions are. And it's very interesting to me. Everybody's reaction was, "Why do you need a day to be thankful?" I'm thankful for every fucking day, mate. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, dude, I get it.
That's pretty on point. You know, I was gonna say that Englishman might have been a mugger, or he might have been some sort of enlightened wizard. Cause I don't know. He's just like taking the resources around him and making the best of what he's got. He's just like, two dudes, all right, we're rolling together. We're rich as fuck. Let's go.
We're a fucking posse, right?
Right, right.
Now I have an entourage.
Yeah, you know, I don't think this way. I see strangers, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like these people.
Right.
Or I don't know if these people are gonna like me.
So, but hold on, let me tell you. So we're talking to these foreigners, these Indian guys, right? Like from India, actually. Okay, and they were pretty funny. They were really cool. Two of them were so fucking lit. It was awesome. Then there was this chick, this Navy chick, Michelle, hanging out. She had the sickest tattoo, bro. Oh my god! All right, so I've been watching Ink Masters with my wife and realized that all of our tattoos are terrible. They're horrible. Okay, they're trash compared to like what people can do. Okay, so then I notice as we're sitting, I'm ordering a gin and tonic. I notice her tattoo, and I could see out of the corner of my eye. Cleanest fucking thing I've ever seen. Cleanest. Like, holy moly. And I asked if I could look at that, and I said, that is amazing. You know, you're into animation or Japan, you know, whatever it is, anime? And she goes, yeah, these are all Studio Ghibli characters.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, really? This is like the cleanest tattoo I've ever seen. She goes, oh, you have no idea. I was like, okay. So she was in the Navy, and she was stationed in Japan. And while she was on leave, she was hunting around for a place to get some dope anime tattoos. She knew what she wanted. So she was jumping, you know, asking around. People kept pointing around. Eventually, she ended up at this particular place. I can't remember the name of it. And I can't remember the dude's name. She told me. But she ended up at this particular studio, walked in. The guy approached her. And I guess the conversation took place in Japanese. And he asked her, what are you looking for? And she goes, yeah, I want to get all Studio Ghibli characters right here. And she named off the ones. And he said he just kind of stared at her for a second and said, you have no idea. I actually quit Studio Ghibli to open this tattoo shop.
What?
And in his whole time working here, nobody had ever come in and asked for that.
That's fucking crazy.
So we did it, dude. And I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, out of the corner of my eye in this bar, I could see this is the cleanest. Dude, it was unreal. It was unreal.
Dude, I'm so jealous of this person.
Dude, yeah, you totally would be, man. I figured.
I want all of her tattoos. Give me your tattoos.
Yeah. So then she was telling us this story about how, and I just got such a kick out of this, okay? So she was some sort of a navigator on a ship while she was in the Navy, and this ship was the kind of thing, she described it as kind of like a U-Haul / taxi for Marines. Okay, so she said you got a steering wheel around, you know, roughly the same size as a steering wheel in a car, and you have this big ass table, like counter that it's attached to, and you have to stand there for like 5 hours a day, just looking at dark blue and then light blue. And once in a while, the captain says, turn this way. And so you look down here at your gauges and you turn that way, and then you look back up at the dark blue and the light blue. And then you straighten it back out so that you can look more at the light blue and dark blue. Just to mix it up, you know? So she's like, what you do is you try to see how far away from the steering wheel you can get without anybody noticing. Like, you have to walk away from it and walk back. And you can't just, like, go marching and stomping back because people will notice you. You got to be cool about it. You got to make it look like you're supposed to be in that exact spot right then and there when somebody glances around,
Right.
She said one time she was able to get all the way around the whole thing. And she's like, you got to understand, as I'm going around, I have to stop and pretend I'm checking this out. And then I got to move over here and set... And, make sure and then get back over here. And, and she made it all the way around. And then... I was like, dude, that's, so funny, it's hilarious. She goes, that's not even the kicker. She's like, so at night when you're cruising and you're looking at the dark and the dark with bright spots in it, right?
Uh-huh.
That's all you're seeing for 5 hours. Well, now you're trying to see what else can we do. There's nobody really on deck to show off this cool skill for, so let's see how far into a circle we can get before somebody notices.
For sure.
So she said, you average about 30, 40 degrees. Somebody's going to come say, hey, what the fuck's going on? Straighten this bitch out. And, oh, okay, sorry. Got it. My bad. She goes, one time, no, we got it 340 degrees around when somebody comes in and thought that we were really just off 20 degrees to the other side.
Nice.
Brilliant, dude. Fucking hero. Fucking hero, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why, boys and girls, you should join the military. I mean, what else? What else, dude? What else? Do you really want to go like killing people and stuff? And blowing shit up is cool. Not really blowing up people's homes. That's not cool.
Yeah, I support the troops. I don't really support what we've been doing. Yeah. I don't really support war in general.
I've been doing a lot of thinking lately, man, and my conservative bone is really gonna twinge when I see this. But any more of these days, I'm glad I was unable to join the military. I was really upset for a long time about not being able to get in, and now looking back and all the things I know right now, I was kind of a hothead. I definitely would have been the type to run in and try to do some rescuing of some sort. Maybe even lose my cool when something unbearable happens, and be on the news. Hey, this guy did this atrocious thing in war. Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, really? An atrocious thing in war? That. But, those are just boys that we're killing. Our boys are going to kill boys.
Yeah.
And that's
definitely
sad to think about.
It's a manipulation. It's definitely a manipulation. You get promised a lot of things at an early age, and I don't know, like 40-year-old dudes wouldn't join the military, not because their body isn't capable, but because like they've matured and they know that they don't want to do that with themselves. At least that's my perception of it. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of the times the decision is like, oh shit, I got a family to take care of, or like I want to get a head start out of high school, and it just seems like a manipulation to me. Like I said, totally support the troops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't so much. I do see that there is manipulation. Just like anything, you have to advertise and you have to market in a way to get people excited about it. In any regard. My beef is not with the military ever. I love the military. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for anybody that can get in, and for some it represents an only opportunity, and I totally respect anybody who's tough enough and brave enough to make that commitment, for sure. Mm-hmm. It's just that when I was joining, I was definitely joining out of partly for that, and this was right after 9/11, mm-hmm. and so I was hot and ready to to go out and defend the country, which I am absolutely, again, I applaud anybody who has that in their heart. Please do. We need that defense. My qualm is just with the wigs in DC that make the decisions about when and where to send our boys to fight for what and how.
Right.
You know,
they don't send their kids.
No, it's not. They're not sending their kids. If they were, yeah. You know, I guess this is a discussion that could go on and on and on.
It's true. It's true.
But,
The political button. I actually don't really follow politics much. I was gonna ask you stuff like, what's going on in politics, but we can talk about that another time. It's I think we're good.
Yeah, it's getting late. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was a fun one.
So we're gonna be live on Friday. Friday is gonna be a really big day. I'm dropping an album called Life So Severe. I really hope you guys are down to check that out. It's an exploration of manhood in modern America. It's dedicated to my buddy Desi Lyons. And I hope that you guys check it out. I know you'll enjoy it if you give it a spin. Also, that same day, we're going to have Chain Store Gang Collective.
Chain Store Collective.
The Chain Store Collective are going to be here rocking with us. We're just going to bullshit and talk because they have a show coming up on Saturday in Colorado Springs. And so we're going to, you know, just build a little hype for that. Love to hear you guys, see you guys in at that.
Yeah.
That'll be at 6:30 on Friday.
Yeah, and they're opening for Stevie Stone. It's a Christmas toy drive they do every year over at the Black Sheep. So, you know, good cause. Go check it out. Stevie Stone's dope. So is Chain Store.
We'll remind you all about it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Make faces.